Are you ready to get provoked? You're listening to Can I Live, a show created to excite, ignite, and expose. Let's tune in with your host, R.W. Jones. Guys, welcome to Can I Live podcast. We are excited about tonight because we finally get into meeting the cast. We told you guys at the beginning of the year that, we had this play. It was written after the book, Get Your Hands Out My Pocket. Here it is. And it has now turned into a stage play. We did a reading in 2019 from a script. And, we wanted to test the concept. Would people be interested in a play like this? Would, people be, is this topic worthy of having a discussion, and certainly worthy of putting resources behind a stage play? And our, audience, we had a packed house. It was at the DC Black Theater Festival. I believe it was 2019. And we thought, 2020, y'all, we are going to go hit the stage. We was going to Broadway. Never have I ever written a play before, but it was already in me to do. And so I got a hold of a director. If you guys don't know her, Cody Jones, she is something awesome. And she put her, a call out to some people in her network. I had put a call out to some people in my network, and just, you just meet a world of people, particularly in the arts. You just meet a world of people.
Yeah. We're not seeing you on Facebook.
You always scare the hell out of me, Monette, when you come in from out of the damn blue. Okay. Because you know why? I didn't put public. So now it's public. I think they can see me now. Correct? And can you, I wish we need a light or something, a light that raise your hand or something. You scare me.
Sorry.
Golly.
I try to find a nice little way to just break in. That's why I say Raquel's soft.
Jeez. Oh, heart is palpitating. I'm all on a move mode, and then it's like the voice from on high. Thank you.
My bad. Okay. Hi, Glenn.
Hello, Monique. How are you?
Good. Hi, Will.
Oh, how you doing?
Yeah, well, I haven't even introduced Will yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bye.
Oh gosh. And this is showbiz. This is showbiz without a budget. This is what showbiz looks like when you ain't got no budget. All right. So either way, we went through a couple of cast members, and some people were like, it's too much cursing, it's too much profanity, it's just too much going on. Really, it was a lot of cursing. So I had to, curb the cursing down. As you guys know, I'm working on my profanity. I think I've done excellent these last few podcasts. I don't know if I'm gonna get through today without a curse. I don't think I am. However, we are excited to just kind of roll it out based on our podcast last week. We decided we wanted to start with one of the cast members. I'm going to show you guys this image. His name is William Legette. And I promise you, I did not write this play with him in mind, but I knew that we had to cover these five characters. So of the five characters, you have Mr. Right and Never Right. Mr. Right does everything right, but he's never right. You have the man of God, which is a pastor of a church. You have Young Guns. He's about 17 years old. You have the baller. He's that, sexy baller with the NBA, or I'm not going to say NBA, but with the contract for millions. And then you have your typical, what most people think deadbeat dads are, the reckless and ratchet. And each one of them, while they have a separate story, they all wind up in jail. So this animation, stage play, drama, short film is bringing out, of course, the worst case scenarios, but real life stories. These are not made up stories. We're still in the process of getting our trailer created and our animation done, but it has happened in this year. Those resources are going out there. And as we align ourselves with our partners and, other influencers and sponsors and those that want to be a part of it, it will be a series, so it's one of many to come. So, just kind of stay tuned and support the movement. We're on a movement to move 1 million moms off the welfare system. And you can't do that without supporting dads. Dads are not a part of the problem, but they are a part of the solution. And as long as the system, and I'm going to say the system, but Glenn is going to say it's not the system, it's us that is keeping us apart, keeping our families broken, and I'm going to be honest with you, after tugging with Glenn last week, I think I'm going to be on Glenn's side. I think I'm leaning towards Glenn's side more and more because, like he says, the system is not designed to do what we want it to do. And so, we're going to hear some real life drama, some real life situations. So I'm hoping that I hope you don't get in trouble for sharing. I would ask you to just say no names, like just keep the names out. And moms, if you're out there listening, don't get offended. Don't after the show call him and blast him like you talk about me. Don't do that. Somebody said Glenn is breaking me down, and my chair, I keep getting shorter and shorter before I'm about to be just totally gone in a second. So let me just show my picture before we introduce Will Legette. So here we go. As you can see, now Will is actually, I don't know if this is his first time acting, but he was absolutely a natural. And if he is not an actor, he really should be, because he came in and he just stole the show. And so he is playing Ratchet and Reckless, which is a guy who is, like I said, the typical stereotype. He's been to jail. He's come home with a huge child support bill that he's accrued while he was locked up. And he's like, damn, I was locked up for all these years for something that I didn't even do. But he's a Black man and he fits that, that stereotype. And we just ignore people like this. And we just believe ultimately that they are the bad guy because they portray this bad guy image that, this media and narrative have painted to be a bad guy. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Will Legette to the scene. Will, can you show your camera? There you go. Let me get let's see, I'm all late on it. See, that's why I need a producer to produce the show so I could get some special effects. But I'll have the producer, put some special effects and claps, just to say, welcome to the Can I Live podcast show. And how are you today?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I wish I should actually, I'm going to pull up one of the parts that you're playing so that they can hear it.
Oh, okay.
But,
I hope it's a good one.
Yeah, I think it will be. I just got to figure out, I got to look at the notes and just kind of figure out which one I want to play. But then talk to me about what, when you heard about the play, what made you say, you know what, let me definitely be a part of that?
I guess without even any knowledge of the inner workings of the play, I knew something about it offhand. So that's why I was like, I'll do it. And then as I started learning about the play, I knew something about it. So
you knew something about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, were you uncomfortable playing the Reckless and Ratchet? Were you uncomfortable being stereotyped in this way? Do you feel like that already? Maybe
that stereotype's already set. It's already set. So, but no, I wasn't uncomfortable at all.
Yeah, I mean, you really nailed it. Even the director, Cody, she said, oh my gosh, she was like, oh, he's real. Before she even met you and she heard you audition, she said to me, oh, he lived this life. He knows this very well. Like, this is real to him. This was not acting. And
it's very real to me.
Yeah, she is a professional. And for her to be able to know that this was a part of your testimony and you were not acting, I was like, wow, that was pretty awesome. So Glenn, I don't know if you have any questions, but Will, you can just feel free while I look for your clip. You can feel free to kind of share, just like your personal story, just a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What has what has your life been like? How do you mirror with Reckless and Ratchet? How is your life similar to the character? I'll say that.
Well, I've been incarcerated, so I've got a lot of child support after that, but I've paid a lot of child support. I've been paying child support. I'm always going to pay child support. I have a lot of kids, and I don't think the number of kids is the problem. It's the amount of child support that I can't pay. So it's always going to keep me not being able to pay it. I'm always going to have a debt. That's how I feel. So I got used to that. I've been having a child support debt since I was 17. So I was 17
Really?
years old.
Is that
Yeah,
is that how old you were when you had your first child?
yeah, yeah. I was 17.
Mm.
I think I went to court when I was 18. And they
For
hit me
child
with an order.
support.
Yeah, and they hit me with an order when I was 18. But I was still getting child support from my father. But my order was higher than his.
Mm.
Yeah.
So do you remember, do you remember when you went to child support court for the first time, did they make you fill out a worksheet? That godforsaken worksheet of that?
No, because I was in high school still. So as I recall it, it was supposed to have fell onto my parents.
Yeah.
What?
So right,
Well,
because I was under,
pause, rewind. What?
That's right.
it was supposed to have fell onto my parents.
And until he gets 18, his parents are responsible for it. Now, when he turned
Yeah.
18, it's his responsibility. Yes, that's the
So
law.
you mean to tell me, I'm glad my son's is 18, all of them. If they got somebody pregnant before 18, I'm responsible?
Yes.
Definitely. But
Yes.
see, in my case, what I had did was
Jesus.
I had became emancipated at 16.
Mm.
So that threw everything back onto me.
Mhm.
My parents, they wasn't involved. So by the time I hit 19, I was already 20 grand in the home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you ever see yourself, like, talk to me about what that felt like? So just like, let me ask you, I got 1,000 questions, but number one, did it ever impact the relationship that you wanted to have with your children?
Yes, at certain times it did. When my oldest daughter was young, it definitely did, because I didn't have any money and her mother was screaming money, like any mother should. She was a single mother. But I didn't have it. I'm in school. I was, doing sports and trying to go to college and stuff like that. I didn't even have time to be there for the baby. And I went off trying to, become somebody, you know, and that didn't work out. And I wound up in prison. Now the child support steady growing.
Yeah.
That number never stops. It keeps going.
Did you know that, of course you probably didn't, but Glenn knows, like, if anybody's listening to this, if you get arrested, now I don't know how it works once you get arrested. I believe you could do it from behind bars, but I'm sure it'll take forever. But you can modify your order
Now,
for the inability to pay.
let me tell you about that.
Okay.
Yes, you can, but you have to have that knowledge of what you're doing before you go to the law library. There's no one at the law library says, oh, you need this form, you need that form. You have to have that knowledge in your head or somebody telling you what to do. So when you get locked up off the streets and you have no family, you have no lawyer, and you're in that situation, what form?
How would you know what to do?
How would you know? There's no one's going to tell you.
Well,
You only have an hour to figure it out once a week in the law library.
I don't know about other states, but in North Carolina, it's called the inability to pay if you're incarcerated. And it keeps going, yes. But when you get out, they can go back and give you credit for that.
Not here in New York. Once you
like I said, I don't know about other states. North Carolina, that's the law. But in other states, you could be right. I
have a child support order from North Carolina, matter of fact, and that's one of my highest ones. And I don't know how they came to that number.
So let me ask you this question, because most people will say, I'm surprised that Glenn didn't say first, the system or those that are advocating, like, we're breeding children like roaches and we're having, I got 4 kids, 3 baby daddies. So it is what it is. However, we're out here having these kids. Are we at any point in time pushing the blame, acting as though, yeah, we did this, but somebody else can you say that there was a part of your mindset that if you resented it from the beginning, why didn't you like get a vasectomy. Black men don't like getting
Yeah, well,
cut.
I wasn't gonna do that, and I never started out to have these many kids. I
Of course.
maybe the way I was brought up, maybe I had something to do with it. And then my grandfather had more kids than I have. It's in my family line.
And
And I don't
maybe,
regret having any of my kids. And I don't regret any of the money that comes out. It doesn't bother me at all. I just keep it moving.
but here's the deal. And Glenn, you could chime in because back in the day, we had mad kids. We had 10, 15 kids. So what's the difference?
But the difference today is the generation. I mean, back in my father's time, my father had 7 kids, and my mom, my grandparents had a lot of kids. But the men stood somehow. Either they stayed in the house and they took care of the kids. The next generation, like my son's generation, you see less and less of men taking care of their kids. So there is a generational change. Whereas before, excuse my French, but the white man didn't have to tell us to take care of our kids. We did it.
Well, now there's less and less opportunity
Right.
for men to take care of their
Don't you
kids.
go there.
Well,
Like,
Don't you go there.
There's less and less opportunity, and there's so many traps that were set up for us.
Come on.
Like, I've been getting targeted since I was 15, so I wouldn't be able to do the things I should have been able to do when I was 21. You could be walking down the street and now you're getting a loitering ticket that you don't think is no big deal, and now by the time you're 17, you got a warrant for that, and now you're in jail. So then we could go down that road. There's so many different avenues that the white man don't even have to worry about, that our Black men have to worry about. Now, I could have had these 10 kids and had a good life and be able to take care of everybody with no problem if I was given the right opportunities. But I'm not even complaining about that. I'm not even
That's real talk.
So we could talk about that all day.
That's real. I mean, that's real. Because I see, Glenn, what you got to say about that?
Well, I mean, okay, kids cost. There's no question about that. The more kids you have, the more you have to pay. I mean, somebody got to take care of these kids.
Oh, is there? But answer this question. So what does it cost? What's the set price to raise a kid?
It's $100,000.
I don't know the set price, but I know kids cost a whole lot of
So
money.
how many people do we know that don't even make $100,000 and have kids?
And I'm playing. But that's a good question, because what you're saying is based on the level of money you have. So if you were a LeBron James or a millionaire, the cost for your children would be more than if you were Tyrone from up the block that ain't got a GED and only make about, $15,000 a year. Child support will be different for that child.
But the difference this is what I'm saying. So if me and the mother stay together and I was a broke guy, didn't have no money, nobody would say nothing. But since we're not together, I gotta pay now. I understand that.
What you mean? Say that again? Oh, because I think Glenn gonna get
if I had a wife and we had kids and I was broke, I didn't have no job and the kids but I'm here. Then nobody say nothing. But me and the mother are not together. Now there's a dollar amount on the separation
that you're responsible for.
That I'm responsible for.
No,
and there's another thing.
Well, I'm not gonna say so.
Where's not on all mothers? I have some I'm talking about, but where's their contribution? Constantly, like we all fall on bad times. So when they fall on bad times, they could go to Uncle Sam. When I fall on bad times, my bill just piles up until later.
Yeah, you can't go to Uncle Sam.
They could go get help.
But we had this conversation before, Glenn, and I said that very well. I was like, and I didn't want to be the hating ass woman, just hating on women. But I was like, well, how is it that Uncle Sam could give me Medicaid, food stamps, housing, childcare, all of this stuff to take care of me and my kids? And they don't come after me for money. They're not telling me, you know what they do tell me? They say, well, if you don't take his Black ass to court, we gonna come in. You ain't even getting no benefits. Okay, so they would keep benefits from us in exchange for taking him to court. I think that's the injustice. That's the social, I sound illiterate. That's the social injustice that we have to address, that's deep rooted and seated in our community. And until we start to let up in those areas, You're just marching for no damn reason.
Okay, so if the mom has got the child, right?
Yes.
She's coming for the child. Get the kid up in the morning, get the kid to school, feed the kids, water the kids, all of that. Your $318 a month, you're paying for child support. That does very little for raising that child. It helps.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, no.
it helps. It does.
It helps.
But
300,
but mama gotta have lights. She gotta have water. She gotta eat. There's things in her life that has to be there if she don't have a kid. So having a child, it doesn't add on that much more because you're already living. So without a child, it means you don't live. You're gonna go sit down in the corner somewhere and not have a life, right?
it doesn't mean
So
that
now this child comes. Now somebody has to pay for your water, your lights, your food.
no, again, your $318 is doing very little for the budget. If she got a $200 budget, which includes lights, water, gas, phone, all the other stuff that she needs to run a household, your $318 is not going to touch that.
So is this woman in the system or is this woman a working woman?
It could be both. If she's in the system,
now a working woman, so how she's working, right?
but
How much is so I got to take my income and put it with hers, right? To raise this child.
Regardless of what she's working or not, your money is going.
There has to be a difference. Who's
Your
paying the
money is
bill?
going for.
Somebody's paying the bill.
For the chair of the.
Hold on, Will. Right, relax. Hold
Her
on.
money, your money that you're giving her is going for the care of the child. You're contributing $318 a month to this child well-being, which costs a hell of a lot more than $318.
Okay, I understand that. Well, I don't have a $318 a month. My orders are like $318 a week.
Okay, but
I have orders that's crazy.
yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is, but by and large, your child support money is going to support the child. I mean, and it's a small portion of her budget that you're contributing to.
Now, I could say this. In my cases, I don't see that.
What you mean?
That money don't go to those kids. You know why I know that? Because I be with the kids. The kids be with me asking me for the money. I buy the haircuts. I buy the sneakers. I do everything. Me. After they take half the money, and then I got to turn around and still do it. So
and let me ask you this. I think that might be relative because you might be doing that now, but was you doing that back then when they were assessing?
That's the only thing that keeps me going is I think about that.
Yeah.
I think about that. But then, that's right. I wasn't always there, but that wasn't always my fault. I wasn't there. There's a lot of different scenarios. Everybody just looks at the mother, the father. He ain't there. The dad got to pay. That's it. My dad paid for me. He paid for me till I was 22 years old. He paid $45 a week for like 20 years. It never went up, never went down. He paid it and was over. I thought I was going to be like that.
Yeah, the times have changed. It's not the way it is nowadays.
Yeah. My dad made more money then in the 70s and 80s than I make now.
Now, let's say this. Let's back on up because if we had to back it up just a little bit, some would say, you know what, well, maybe, and here's where I want us to get to, and I need these conversations to go because all people don't wind up in child support, number one. Number two, Asian, Native American, Caucasian people definitely end up, but we disproportionately make up these systems, whether it's Medicaid, child support, those dads that are on child support, statistics have shown that you can't even tell if they're deadbeat dads more than they're dead broke. And if the stats or the roles are filled with dead broke dads that just have a GED, don't have that high school diploma, don't have access to, or has not finished any kind of technical trade certifications or whatever, and or have all of these other underlying conditions that may be impeding their self-sufficiency pathways, how can they be viable contributors to any household?
Okay, you're naming all this, which is good, and they're still having kids.
Uh-oh.
You done name all this,
Hold
They can
on.
have 2 kids, but they still having kids.
I thought I was saying something. I
You
thought
right.
I thought I was going somewhere.
You
Glenn.
were. But you got
I did.
you have to add the other part to it. They know this stuff is there. Why are you still having kids and you're not taking care of the one that you have? That's the personal responsibility. There is, and I tell you, I said 1,000 times, there is a systemic problem. Yes, there is. But there's also an individual problem that we want the system to fix that it can't fix, it's not designed to fix.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak for me because even though my mom had her children all by one dad, and I would say that in that place of pain, I was this Black woman who didn't know who she was. I was out there trying to numb all kind of pain. So I had identity crisis issues, value issues, self-esteem issues, self-worth. You name it, and I was in it. I was seeking purpose. I was seeking a pathway out to prosperity without the tools. And in that, I wind up in them damn clubs because, what is it? Everybody on the floor getting tipsy. Shit, I'm out there because I'm like, damn it, the fuck this pain is real, and shake your ass, and then somebody on your ass. And then before you know it, you're all doing something that you ain't got no business doing. And in the heat of the night, you making dumb decisions and you get caught up. But I do know that you can't, shame on us to get caught up time and time out, over and over and over again. And then we got this system we fall back on. And so I think we just make the decisions out of ignorance. I don't think it's something that we have intentionally walked in. No one woke up and said, you know what, I'm gonna find this big booty hole and I'm gonna have a baby by her today. And she's gonna be the pain in my ass for the rest of the next 25 years. That is just not the conversation.
You don't make that decision. You don't walk up and say, I'm gonna do that, but you do it.
But you do it.
You don't say, I'm gonna go, but guys tell me all the time, I don't have a choice. He said, he got really angry with me. He said, I told her, he said, I don't feel like I had a choice in her having this baby because he wanted her to have an abortion. And she said, no, I don't want an abortion. So he said, I didn't have a choice in the matter.
That's true.
And I said, no.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You did have a choice. You chose to have unprotected sex. That was your choice. That was your choice. And people tell me I make mistakes. And I said, tell me what a mistake is. And they said, getting a DUI or getting a girl pregnant or beating up a girl. I said, those are not mistakes, man. Those are not mistakes. Those are decisions that you chose. Stop calling them mistakes. Because if you call them mistakes, you're never going to grow for it. But if you say this was a decision that I made, that's just why I'm here, then guess what? You will stop making bad decisions.
That's true.
When you look at your life now, and you see my life is not necessarily because of the mistakes I made, it's because of the choices I made. Now, we do all make mistakes, absolutely. But where I am now in my life is not because of my choices, not because of my mistakes. It's because of my choices. And why do we call bad choices mistakes? You know why?
Yeah, because you don't want to take responsibility. You don't want to take
ownership.
Yeah.
You want to blame somebody else as to why I'm here.
I would agree.
It's my mom, it's my dad, it's the cat, it's the goldfish.
It was a white man.
It was else.
It was
us.
It was, and I will agree to that. I blame everybody. I blame the white man for having this system. And it wasn't until when I told you I had to go see the pastor, because I was like, the devil is wreaking havoc in my life. And he was like, the devil is not busy, you busy.
It ain't the devil.
It was me. And I think, and as simple as that sounded, here's the disconnect or the dysfunction is, I really didn't see that before. Shit, I made the damn appointment because I wanted to see if he knew the devil and if I could get Jesus to get the devil off of me, because the devil was just out of control. And he was like, you are out of control. And that was the most sobering thought. But it wasn't until I realized, oh my God, I did this. I created unnecessary poverty. I had 4 kids. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? I'm never going to get out. But it was very sobering to know that I had the choice to stop it and do something about it. And that was when everything turned around for me. You know, I was like, I'm not lying no more. This little rat race, these little damn crumbs that this system give you, and we will turn hell and high water, turn your neighbor in, call the EBT police. We'll do everything for them little stupid crumbs.
Yeah.
And lie, cheat, steal for them crumbs.
Yeah.
And I was like, this can't be my life. I think we could rise up and do better. I think we could do better. I know that, but I guess the goal of all of this is to bring these conversations out, because in the end, what you said is, I was 17. And had you had opportunities, even at 17, had you not been, I don't want to say polarized or targeted, had you been able to make your way prosperous, the chances of you having other kids could have been slim. And even if you did, the chances of you being able to provide for them all, where the moms would not have needed any kind of social services. Now, I'm assuming that, but is that the case? That all of the moms are on some type of benefit?
Yeah, mostly just for like healthcare.
Mostly on healthcare. Well, that's everybody who ain't on.
Yeah, that triggers, you know.
So even for healthcare, but they don't come after you for that.
Oh yeah, yes, they do. I have to contribute to that.
Yeah, if you're on Medicaid and Medicare, you got to give to the system.
And once again, I have no qualms with that.
Right.
I have no problems with that.
Right.
But here's where I feel like it gets tricky. So you go to jail, and here they go in these work release programs, these little work programs. You could work for $2.16 a day, and you could go make some IKEA furniture, maybe some panties for Victoria's Secret or something.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. When I did that part and I was reading that, I was jealous because the role he got paid in that. I've been to jail and they made me work for free. There was no pay.
What?
I did county time and I had to work in the kitchen 12 hours a day.
You had to work?
I had to. Once they picked my name, I had to go. Or you was going to send you to the worst part of the jail. So now what you going to do? Yeah, you're going to go ahead and go to work. And now you go to work and you get fired. Now your good time taken away. So that to me, that's straight slavery.
It's right, yeah.
When
are we going to address that? I mean, I just feel like a lot of men, when they come out the system, they don't really do a lot to really help it. And maybe they do, and maybe I just don't see it. So I really can't say. But the fact that, I mean, Reckless in the play, yeah, he was down 7 years. He was working for private correction enterprises, getting paid maybe $2.16 an hour. And nobody took that money and gave it to the child. So how is it? Here's the deal. Real talk. Just what you apply to one, apply to all. That's the kingdom. There's no respect of persons. So if she's receiving the benefit for the sake of the child, because yes, we need the children to be safe, fed, healthy, whole. Thank God for it. But if he's locked up and he's working for correction enterprises and they're taking that furniture and they're selling and making profits for private corporations, you telling me that there's if we're now also footing the bill for him to be there, where's the reciprocity on that end? Like, I'm trying to get the reciprocity on that end.
It's not. There's a problem with that. There's an issue with that. I'll be the first to tell you, there's a whole lot of issues with the system. A lot. They're not innocent by any means. There's a lot of things they need to fix.
And that's why one of our policy changes, this whole conversation, so you'll see in the animation, we're seeking to change policy. And one is you pay for your stay. Like, if you're in jail and you cannot pay, you should not be accruing child support. And if he is working for anybody correction enterprises, that profit margin that institution or that private corporation made, that should send that over to the children. I mean, this thing is, we all put in on this. How dare you sell a piece of good made in America by hands that could not produce for their own family, but could produce for you and yours? We shouldn't even support organizations that are supported by correction enterprises if they are not giving a percentage of that money back to these families.
Right.
Oh, I feel a Malcolm X move.
Right. I mean, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And now when they lock you up, they ain't trying to rehabilitate you. They don't cut out all those programs. They're not trying to do none of that. They ain't trying to fix you. They're just housing you and putting you to work for them. That's what that's what they do, and they're gonna keep doing that. So I mean, again, the system have a whole lot of issues. I'm not letting them off the hook at all.
But guess what? A system that has breeded that type of sneaky, conniving deceit is the same system that has breeded and infested the minds, the characters, the whole soul of those that it was intending to corrupt in the first place. So yes, and you know why I say that? Because if you rewind it back from after slavery to when we went and built our own Wall Street and had our own businesses and were supporting our own families and building wealth, building communities and colleges, universities, they burned it down. And so from there, then then it just kind of went. So they just was just ridiculously ruthless. And even to this day, even on top of the George Floyd situations, you have just straight the refusal for reparations. Nobody wants to make that whole. And I promise you, at the end of this thing, I don't know how soon it's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to be. But we better start thinking about coming out of this system and unraveling ourselves from the tentacles that this system has on us. Because how long you going to stay in something that's just not supporting you?
Now, in your case, the system was screwed up like it is now. What did you do? You said, I'm better than this. And you changed your life. The system hasn't changed, has it? It's still the same way it was when you were there.
Yeah, I said.
Only thing changed is you.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. Real talk, Glenn. I think I told you the story, but there was a moment. I almost had a nervous breakdown. And I was about to kill myself and my 4 children. I was going to drown them in the tub. I ran the water. I had the towels, and I was about to take a razor and slit my wrist because I didn't want to be a part of this system anymore. I was tired of trying to move myself forward and never could. I was tired, and there was no way out. And on the brink of me about to make the most heinous crime, I thank God. So God is the X factor for you guys. In case you didn't get the memo, God is the X factor. And so he hid my children from my eyes because I went to drown the oldest and I couldn't find him. And when I went down the line, even the baby that was in the crib was nowhere to be found. In a small space, I could not see them. And it wasn't till one of them was eating a cookie. Finally, as I'm looking around, like, what's happening? Where's the children? One of them eating a cookie started to laugh, and he was smiling at me. I'm like, boy, why are you laughing? We leaving. I said, we out of here. This is it. I don't want this no more. And he started to laugh more. And it was something so pure about his laughter that said, hold on. And I surrendered everything I had in that moment. My brain rattling in my head. I fell to the ground and I held it. And I said, Lord, if you get me out of this in my right mind, I promise I will come back and I will help others like me. I didn't care how long it took. It's been 20 years and I'm still keeping my promise because he has kept his promise. So God is the X factor. I don't see how we can make it out without that relationship, without that hand, because I would have been in jail. I would have been dead. I would have killed one of my son's fathers. Hand down. Murder was in my heart and I would have done it. If I could murder my children, I could have murdered one of them. That was easy. And I would have paid the consequences for it easy. But the mere fact that I'm still here today in my right mind is to say that, yes, it wasn't just, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Oh, no, this was a supernatural intervention from a heavenly being, a divine intervention. That saved me, and I'm sure others have that testimony. So all I'm saying for those of you out there just caught in the drama and the back and forth, if you just surrender, fall to your knees, say, I don't know how to do this. Show me how.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a collection plate.
You preach a sermon. But see, I mean, there's millions of people who had that same testimony where God intervened, and some of them maybe don't even recognize it, the intervention of God and how he saved them. At the same time, he also you did something with your life as well. You didn't just rely on God. God came in at that moment, but he didn't do the rest of it for you. You had to put stuff in motion, right? I mean, you can't we could pray, but after a while, you got to stop praying and do something.
You got to do something.
And that's what you did.
You gotta do something.
Stop playing.
But so let Will tell us. Tell me what you did, because you was on our podcast last week and you was like, open up a small business. So talk to me about your business. What are you doing and how are you providing for your children right now? Because you're an entrepreneur. And
Well, that's the key for me.
hey,
You know, because when I work, I get half my income taken, but we're in the pandemic. So like a lot of other people, I'm getting unemployment. But in the middle of that, we started a couple of different businesses. We bring extra income in. It helps the kids put money in their pocket. It shows them how to become entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. Something my father didn't show me. My father showed me how to be a worker, how to go work for the man and stay in that box. And he stayed in that box all his life and it worked for him.
yeah.
That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. So
But one of the things I admired about Will, because I visited him over the weekend, he had his son and his daughter out there selling masks, t-shirts. They could do it, carpets. I mean, I see your stuff in the background.
yeah, that's some of the stuff behind us.
And if you guys are in the same situation, my thing is during the pandemic, practice. I tell them all the time, this is the time to practice and get your business concepts and models and products and services perfected now.
Yeah,
So
what
that
else is
when
there
the
to do?
economy lifts, and I was like, every time I turn around, they sending me something else. Look what we made. I'm like, y'all made a carpet? Like, who makes carpets?
Yeah.
They do. What's
we
the
make
name of your
carpets.
business?
Our Black Box.
Our Black Box.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and we make carpets. We make
Let
t-shirts.
me see the trays that y'all have. You have
Excuse me?
the trays.
Yeah, we make custom trays too. We make custom rolling trays. We make custom jackets, hoodies, t-shirts.
Yeah.
Once again, it's ourBlackBox.us.
.us.
And like as you see, these are the rugs we make. We make custom rugs too.
And so those are just pieces that will be transferred, or like, so what you're doing now, the whole thing is not a rug, but that's how you make the carpet, by
Right, these are separate
needling it.
rugs. Right. These are tufted rugs, and tufted. My kids my son does these actually, and he's getting pretty good.
Yeah,
But that's one of the sons that I pay child support for.
yeah.
Who stays with me. You know, that's what I'm talking about. The system is very broken, very broken.
And so thank you. I can't find the clip. Tacky. Monette, we got to get the clip next time. And we'll have the clip and we'll play the clip next time.
So you're gonna have the rest of the cast on soon?
Yeah, so we're doing one at a time. We're gonna have I don't know who we're gonna have on next, but yeah, you play the Reckless and the Ratchet, and I don't know what I was thinking. I've been inundated, but I should have had your clip lined up. But I'll play your clip next time too. And the goal is, you're always welcome here to come back and just kind of share your testimony. But I thank you for even being a part of something that I've never done. And just like, listen, you've never done carpets before, but you just went out there and you did it. I've never written a play before. I've never written a book before. I've never produced a short film. But everything starts with one. Everybody started with the first. Yeah. The first is the foundation. And so, from one, there are many. And so, but you got to just try it. Even if you don't even know how, you got to try it. And I look at you and say, shit, you bought a gun, you watch YouTube and you made, and then you selling them. Yeah. And I just, add my faith to yours in this hour and say, everything your hands touch prospers. If it is unto the Lord, if it's unto God, if it is unto good to teach your children,
that's what it's for. It's not even for me. It's
yes,
for the kids. It's not even for me.
That they can live, because guess what? You got sons, you got daughters.
Yeah.
And we're in a pandemic. So hiring is like, it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah, they need a job. I got a job for them right here.
Exactly.
We are a job.
That's right. Create that. And with Reckless and Ratchet, the idea was, here he was, and these rules apply. Social injustice. He was arrested for a crime that he didn't even commit, but he couldn't afford an attorney. So they plea us. They don't free us. Yeah. And that just created a whole set of additional unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah. And I've been through that. Not even with child support, just in the criminal justice system alone, guilty or not guilty, that doesn't even matter. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Once those handcuffs hit you, That doesn't even matter if you did it or not. It's about how much money you have,
Right.
who you know.
Yeah.
You know, but their laws are changing. Like now in New York, there's no bail. And I think that kind of evens the playing field with the police because there's no need to arrest you if you're going home tonight anyway. You know,
Oh, so what?
no bail in New York. You have to, I think I have to kill somebody or something. You know, it has to be a violent crime. So, you know, driving with no license, that your normal drug charge and stuff like that, that they're targeting our communities. There's no bail no more. And I think it's just started this year. They're complaining about it. There's certain people that abuse it. They're criminals. But not everybody that goes to jail is a criminal.
True.
Some people make mistakes. You know, some people do make mistakes.
Yeah,
Some people make bad choices.
Bad choices.
You
Or
know?
uninformed,
And then now it
uneducated.
depends on what color you are, depending on how bad that
right.
choice was.
Right.
You know? 'Cause I've been to jail for cursing in front of a woman and child. And I wasn't even talking to them. And I got arrested for it. And I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. I'm from New York. Cursing is part of our heritage.
Who gets arrested for that? That is ridiculous.
I was arrested for it only because I was a Black man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ooh, curse. Somebody get. Ooh, you know what? I think people live like there is no. You know, some people they don't believe in a hell or a consequence. I'm like, does the God who gives us eyes and gives us ears, does he not see and hear all of this injustice in the whole land? And y'all okay with just keeping the foolery going on? I'm just like, wouldn't want to be you. But I don't know. But I know that, you know, I don't know who we're gonna have on next week, but I just think that you have a place here in Get Your Hands Out My Pocket. That, you know, we want you to be the Reckless and Ratchet, or Ratchet and Reckless. I always mix it up. Indefinitely. So as soon as some funding comes for us to have a short film series ongoing, so that we could tell these stories ongoing, you know, that is where we would love to, you know, make sure you have a place there to share your story. And to me, I think that that's how you know, maybe pay back the damage that was done to you.
That'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
So how many children do you have? Did you say?
I have 10. I have 7 girls and 3 boys.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I feel like the guy from my DS, he was like, what?
You've been knowing me for years. You didn't know how many kids
I never knew kids. What?
7 and 3.
7 girls?
7 girls.
Jesus.
What's the age?
That's why I have so many kids. I always wanted a boy. I have 5 girls in a row.
I ain't never known you.
That's all I was trying to do, to get to a boy. That's all I was trying to do.
What's the age?
From 31 to 10.
31?
And my oldest is 31.
Well, how old is you?
48. No, I just turned 49. So now she's about to turn 32.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
I always have kids. I've been having kids since high school.
Yeah. I am stuck on dumb right now. Okay, well, wait a minute. Let me get my life together. I don't know why I never knew you had 10. I mean, that's a lot. How many women, how many baby mamas?
6.
6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
6. I feel like you on Oprah or Ayana. Okay. We get there.
Right now I have 3 orders, 3 child support orders. That covers 7 kids. 3 orders that cover 7 kids.
Yeah, and so I feel like Ayana, she'd be like, okay, beloved, and how does that feel? Yeah. How are you with that? You know, she's everybody's beloved. That's hilarious. I am ridiculous. Wow. Okay. So let's talk about real quick though. What's up with the mamas? 6 mamas. I only know of 2. So of all the mamas, is there like one wicked ass mama? Like she's the devil incarnate?
No, when it came to like relationships, yeah, but when it comes to the kids, because I pay my child support, I'm there for the kids. You know, when we first, I was talking about during the baby mothers as we breaking up, I was the devil or whatever. But
Yeah,
as
that
time go
no, that
on,
no good Negro that
right,
I make him pay. I make this nigga pay. This nigga playing with my
I was the
emotions.
worst. I was the worst. And you know, a lot of the times I
He
did
said he was
most of
the
the things
worst.
they said. But as the kids grow older and they find out who I am, then they're here. They want to be with me.
Have
They wanna
any
be
of the
part.
moms tried to keep the children away from you?
Yeah, one tried for many, many years, told my kids all kind of lies and kept them hid. And I don't know what happened. One of them escaped somehow and made it to me in North Carolina, and the whole thing just changed.
If
Whole
you
thing.
had a choice to change the system or the mother's relationships that you've had and make them different, which one would you choose?
The relationships.
Really?
Yeah, the system is the system. I could, I'm always going to be okay. I don't care how much of my money they take. I'm always going to make some more.
Wow, that's really, I thought you was going to say the system. I just knew you was going to say the system.
Nah, I'd rather have better relationships with them. That means better relationships with my kids.
I totally agree. If she could, well, one of the key things is that we teach a lot of our guys is try to get along with her. Because if you can get along with her, if y'all can work out something, you don't need the system
True.
to fall by the wayside.
Facts.
You
Facts.
you got to do what you got to do. If you're in the system, you got to deal with them what they tell you to do. I mean, you got to do that. But I've seen more times than one that because of the teaching that we've done, that the relationship got better between them and the mom and the boyfriend, ex, whatever, and they go to court and sometimes forgive the back child payment.
Yes, that's
I've
possible.
seen it happen
I'm
many,
not there yet, but
many times.
I
I
heard
mean,
it's
a
possible.
lot of men,
Yeah, I've had to do that. I don't know.
but sometimes they can't do it, especially if they owe money to
To
the
the system.
Right, she can't give that, but she can give the portion that you owe her. But and that happened many times, and during the 12 years we've done this, they have happened a few times. It don't always happen, but it do happen.
I got a tip, Raquel, for any fathers out there. If you're about to have a baby and you and your baby mother are good, that's the time to protect yourself by going to get a money order every week while things are good. And you give her that money order, it doesn't matter the amount. You give her that money order every week. So now when things go bad or when she goes to child support, there's a record of you supporting the child, and the judge has no business of setting an order in because it's been established that you have a pattern of taking care of the child. It doesn't matter the amount. It could be a $10, $20, $100. My grandmother told my brother that when we were kids. He did it. I didn't. And today he doesn't owe child support. I do.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay, with that being said.
I was about to say something when you said the relationships with the children you would have changed. But it just kind of lost my thought.
I had chose the relationships over the system because it's better for the children.
Has any of the children's mom threatened you, told you they didn't want you to see the other children? And how did you deal with that?
Fucking still did it.
You did it.
Still gonna see that. Yeah. I've been through that many, different ways, different
More than one mom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's that about?
I don't think it's about the children. I think it's about the mothers,
They think you're going to stick pipe. That's what they think.
Yeah.
You going over there to lay pipe. Did you? You ain't got to answer that. This ain't morbid COVID. You ain't got to answer that.
Once you're done with me, you're done with me. That's it. There's no going back to me. Once you're done with me, that's it. That's it. Nah, but no.
They probably like, that Negro lying like hell.
Nah. I'm always about the kids. It's about the kids.
Remember back in the day, they back. Listen, ladies, y'all know the ladies that put it on you. They know right well when you might play hard to get. They know how to get you. You standing there, they gonna come right up on you and rub their big booty right up on you. Got the bends down and get.
You can't do that to me. I don't have 6 baby mamas, 10 kids. I don't see all the booties rubbed, and I don't
Jesus.
No more. Nah.
That is hilarious.
Show me how to make some money. Show me how to start a business.
Okay. I appreciate
I
that.
heard somebody say it earlier, that's sexy. Start a business.
Yeah, that's sexy. Mhm.
Yeah.
True, true, true. Glenn is like, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Glenn, you don't have children?
I do. My kids are grown. Yes.
How many do you have?
3.
Same woman.
40. Yes.
And he took her ass to court.
I've done
That's
that.
right.
I've done that, but you don't get the same amount.
No, I became a single father when my kids was 11, 9, and 7.
I had custody of my kids, but they give me like $10 or something.
Mm-mm.
$10 a kid a month, something like that. Yeah. And that is not like my orders be.
Well, and here's the deal that I want every woman out there to know. Listen, at the end of the day, y'all, I'm trying to put child support in your hands. So I'm not trying to get men to not pay child support. I'm just trying to raise their level of condition so that they could pay more and still live
And make it fair.
prosper.
I think it should be fair. It has to be a system to make it fair because you have to pay for the kids. I'm never said, oh, never been upset.
Absolutely, you got to pay for the kids. I would be in the damn God knows where I would be
But
if it wasn't
if
for
I
child support.
can't live, I can't pay for the kids.
I can't live.
If
Can I
can't get to
live?
work, if I can't eat, if I can't get a ride, if I can't wash my clothes, if I can't pick the kids up and take them, kids don't care about child support. That's the last thing a kid, child support, what's that? They want their dad.
Yeah. And that's one thing, Will, I used to always say, I will give back every dime. Well, I ain't giving it back now because it's gone. But when I was getting it, I used to say, yo, I would get this money back just to have my children have a relationship with their father. Like that means everything. And thank God I have great sons that I don't have any problems with, but I mean, that wasn't
Well,
easy.
I have baby mothers that, take that back. I have daughters that I haven't seen since they were babies.
Oh.
And they're older, and I never even paid child support for them. They're not even in the mix. And I wish they were. That means I would have some kind of connection with them. They'll feel, like I cared about them. And I've been to child support and mentioned them, like, what about the other 2 I got? And they was like, they're not going to get included into their mother file petition, and they never have.
So did you ever just send money to them though?
Yes. Money, we go take them shopping and stuff like that.
But the ones that you don't have a relationship with, well, these demands was like, yo, I'm gonna act like you just don't exist.
Yes. Well, one, I was still, being a criminal, and she was trying to be a cop. And we went separate ways. And she went from being a cop to the detective to this to that. And she always followed me and said, no, he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready to.
Yeah, beloved, that would have never worked.
So how old is that child now?
She is 28. She's 28.
You never seen her? Never met her?
I've seen her when she was younger. I haven't seen her in many years. Yeah, I think the last time I seen her, she was like 14.
You ever try to reach out to her, or is it something you don't want to do?
Yeah. We talk all the time now.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
But we had, there's things that we had, she had to get over.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
If you could tell you the 6 moms of your children something, what would you say?
The money's still coming, I guess. I don't know.
Where the money reside. But I would say, I mean, whatever. I don't know. I mean, would you apologize? Would you say, forgive me for not being there when I should have been?
No, I'm not apologizing to any of them because I never walked away from any of them. Never.
You mean you never walked away from the children?
The children or the mother. Not one of them could ever say he left us.
So they left you?
Yeah. They moved on, not me.
Now, would you then say, I apologize for choosing a different pathway than you? I mean, why all of them gonna leave?
Hold on, another thing. I've always been the person who I am. See, that's the problem with women. They find a roughneck, and then when you prove that you're a roughneck, they don't want to be involved in that. And I was who I was, and whoever knows me know that. I'm not a.
Yeah. Did they try to change you?
Yeah. And when that didn't work, then by now you had a child or 2, and I've tried to change myself, but I wasn't ready to change them.
Yeah, interesting. That's powerful too, because ladies, you know, you see a good man or a good looking man and you like, yo, I could really clean him up real good. He could be really, you know, we
Yeah,
can run
'cause I never met
business.
a woman in church. I never met a woman at the library, nothing like that. So all the places you met me at, that's where the bad guys were. So now what?
Now, were they bad guys? Would you say you were a bad guy?
Excuse me?
Would you say you were a bad guy?
Yeah,
You were? Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's been worse.
And I'm not
But
saying all 6 of my baby mothers, they knew I was bad guys. Not all 6. Because sometimes I was trying to be a good guy.
yeah.
But then you know,
But here's the deal, I think, even as a bad guy, and I don't know how bad we talking, you know, but bad guys need love too. And bad guys need help and support too. And maybe bad guys can turn into good guys. I
exactly. I'm a
mean, you
good
know,
guy now. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good
that's
guy.
right. That's
I'm a
right.
good
You're
guy.
a good guy. And everybody, you know, yeah, they
And
change.
when I say a bad guy, what I really want to say is a product of my environment because I'm from the slums of Long Island, if you want to say. So I was just a product of that, of
Yeah.
the
So
crack
right. And
era, the
maybe it's not
heroin.
bad. I mean, it's not like you out here, you know, killing people for like killing sprees and doing,
No,
you
no, I
know,
wouldn't be
raping
sitting here
people.
now. Huh?
Yeah, right. You wouldn't be here, but you know, you are a product of the environment. So you fit the profile,
Definitely.
the
And
profile. But at the end of the day, your heart was good towards doing just what you wanted to do in terms of like, you know, can I live? Can I make myself prosperous? What would you have done? And this is our last question because I can interrogate all day. Our last question is what would you have done if you had to do it again? What would you have done differently?
would have stayed in school. I would have educated myself way more. That's the one thing I would have done there.
Now that is one to grow on. And that is actually one of the game plans, like brothers, bruh, like everybody be like, bruh, where you going? If you ain't got no GED or if you just got a GED, what you doing? Nothing. You got people out here with like 1,500 master's degrees out here still hustling and grinding. Where you going? What you doing? And
'Cause
so
I'm not a dummy by far, but I
by
felt if I
far,
was educated,
it would
if I
be
had a couple of
different.
degrees, I'll be on top of the world.
You already know
And the
that.
only thing that's stopping me is my lack of education. Nothing else.
That's
Just my
right.
lack of education.
Yeah. And it's not that you need a lack of education to know more or increase some type of learning. It's just a credential that would have opened other doors
Other doors,
and given
right?
other opportunities that not having it closes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
If
And
I would have
so,
had degrees instead of felonies, I would have been.
look at that. Let me get that hashtag. Uh-oh, degrees instead of felonies. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing your life. I know we're going to have the full cast back once we go one by one, round robin with everyone. But thank you again. Share your website again.
Ourblackbox.us.
Ourblackbox.us. You guys support
Please come
us as
our
we
Kids Fest.
support each other. Absolutely. We thank you very much for being a part, you guys. Today, we don't have any chats. We have just people reacting, no questions. Look at India. She over here talking about, well, I met you at work. You met India at work? Where you go? She said, I met you at work. Well, I hope that was the come up. Will. He gone. All right, you guys. Well, subscribe to the YouTube channel for the sake of God knows. Ask India to put it in a website chat. Our Black Box. I'm gonna do it just like you said. www.ourblackbox.us. Is that what he said?
Yep, that's what he said.
All right. Let's see. I hope that's right. Absolutely. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for joining Can I Live's podcast with me, the cast of the Get Your Hands Out My Pocket animated stage play coming this year. Don't know when, but it's coming, y'all. And so next week we'll be
Like us
back.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like us on YouTube. Guys, I see on our right now in our comments on Facebook, we have Jennifer Taylor, Jennifer, can you go over right in these comments? Our YouTube link is there. Click it and like us on YouTube. India Sunshine Griffin, like us on YouTube.
Initial Miller, we have Thomasia Moore Washington. You guys go and like us on subscribe. Now, if you can't find the YouTube page, just coming back and tell us, because for some reason that YouTube page is just hard to find. I don't know why. Maybe
But
it's
right in the
better.
comments, there's a link. The link
Oh,
to the YouTube page is in
is it?
Yes, it's there every week. I put it there every week.
Okay. Shout out to Raymond Williams and everybody else out there. All of those that gave us some love. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel. Keep the faith, you guys. And we are on a mission to move 1 million moms off welfare, one family at a time. So thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Anthony will be back with us next week. Thank God. Thank God. See you,
All right,
Glenn.
y'all.
Thank you,
Take care.
Glenn. See
All
you
right,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.